Hi guys, today I want to talk about how to process our emotions. If you have seen my last video, you would know that I talk about the importance of talking and processing our emotions. And I hope today's video will help you process your emotions even more. There are things that I do when I process my emotions. The first one is to explore. I need to know what actually hurts me at that point. So, for example, there are times when I would feel down and then I have to find out or I have to explore, okay, what is something that is bothering me right now? And that could be, a memory from my grandma's funeral where I saw her for the last time and then remembering that I won't be able to see her face again until I get to heaven, and that hurt me. And exploring looks like that sometimes. Exploring looks like asking myself, okay, what am I bothered about right now? So exploring basically looks like sitting down and asking yourself, okay, what is actually bothering me right now? What is hurting me? What has hurt me that I am thinking about right now? That's what exploring is. The second one that I do is to accept. So that means I need to accept what I feel. For me, my grandma has passed away 3 years ago. But up until today, I'm still processing on the pain of losing my grandma. She was one of the closest person to me, and it hurt me so much to think that she won't be here and I won't be able to see her face till I get to heaven and see her again. So, there are days when I would sit down and then that memory would come back, the memory of losing her, the memory of not being able to see her again, all those thoughts will come and then I would know and I would recognize that, okay, today I'm hurt because of this. Okay, right now I'm bothered and I'm hurt and I'm disturbed because of this memory that I have from my grandma's funeral. And then that's what I do. And then this is the second thing that I do is to accept my feeling, to say that, okay, Tebo, right now you are feeling this way and that is totally okay. Right now you are grieving about your grandma and that is totally okay. I think acceptance is a huge key in processing, because if we do not accept, we will live in denial, and that's when the danger comes. It's so dangerous for us to keep on living in denial. I personally prefer letting myself cry than denying the emotions that I have. The big part of processing our emotions is to not live in denial, to not deny our emotions, but accept it. Acceptance is the opposite of denying. When we accept our emotions, what happens is that we're letting ourselves feel whatever we feel at that moment. The third thing that I do is to analyze the why, to think about why does it bother me. For example, whenever I think about my grandma and whenever I miss her, and then I feel hurt because she has left and I'm not going to be able to see her again, and the pain comes back, and during that time I remember again, why is it hurting me? Why does it hurt to think about this? And then I would again talk to myself and I would say that, okay, you know what, Debo, it hurts you because your grandma was one of the most special person in your life. She was one of the closest person in your life and you lost her when you were away, so that hurts you. Talking to myself has also been the key here. I think talking to myself, processing looks like talking to myself most of the times, because I can't call everyone all the time, right? I can't call my friends all the time, but I can talk to myself and talk to God. That's like the other thing that I would talk about. That's like the other thing that I do. The fourth thing is to process. Now, there are a couple things that you can do with processing. The first one is the most important one, is to talk. I know there are people who loves to keep their problems to themselves, but trust me, you want someone to hear you out. Deep down in your heart, you need someone to hear you out, to hear about how you're feeling, to listen to you. And this is the hardest part, is to be open to someone. But it is so important to find that safe person and to talk to that safe person and share about how you're actually feeling and why you're feeling this way. What are you missing? What are you grieving for? Tell your safe person about this. And if you don't have any safe friends or safe family members, I would really recommend you to go and see a counselor, because it's not weak to see a counselor. A counselor is not just there for people who are sick. And you can also come to see a counselor and talk to them. You don't have to wait until you're diagnosed with this major mental issue. You can start talking to a counselor now. So I think seeing a counselor is like taking vitamins. You don't have to wait for you to be diagnosed with with a cancer for you to start taking vitamins. So one thing that I do to process is to verbally process it, to talk about it with a safe person or a counselor. The second one that I can do with processing is arts. Arts is a huge help. It's a huge thing that we can do. It's a huge tool that we can use to process our emotions. So what I would do is sometimes I would just color things or paint things, or I would do something that is crafty and just art stuff that will help me just process my emotions, just to relax and to think while doing that. And the third thing that I do, and this can help you so much, to write down how you're feeling, to write down why you're feeling this way. I think it's going to help you so much, because it has helped me. Just write down journal. I have a journal for me, and I carry it with me, and I write what I'm feeling. And honestly, I don't always write. Sometimes I would take a voice record and just record my voice and just basically talk to my phone and then save it, and then I could maybe process it again later when I do need to process it again. So that's something that I do too. And the fourth one is to let yourself cry. If you need to cry, then cry. You don't have to keep your tears in you. Let it out. Let out your emotions. Processing can look ugly, and it will always look ugly. But that is okay, because it's like healing. The surgery could looks ugly, but you are trying to heal something. You know what I mean? So it's okay if it looks ugly. Just let yourself cry. Let yourself feel every emotions you need to feel. The fifth one is forgive. Something that we forget, especially as Christians, we tend to forgive before we process, and then at the end of the day, we're not actually forgiving. We're just saying those words, gotta forgive this person, because we haven't actually processed the pain. Because there's no way for us to forgive someone if we have not processed the pain that person has caused us, or that we have caused ourselves. So for example, there are times when I have to process, okay, I am hurt because I personally did this. I am hurt right now. I am sad right now because I tried to give up. So that sadness comes. And then now, because after I accepted my condition, after I know why that bothers me, after I process verbally, or maybe with arts, or maybe after I cried, now I would forgive myself. Sometimes forgiveness for myself looks like, Deborah, I forgive you. Or sometimes I would have to forgive God, though He doesn't make any mistake, but I would have to tell God, you know what? I forgive you for taking my grandma away. Or I would forgive the people around me. Forgive the people that have hurt me. Forgiveness cannot come unless you process the pain that has come and has caused you to be hurting right now. You need to be able to process those pain first before you forgive someone. So honestly, guys, especially for those of you who are Christians, who have been thinking and who have been growing up in this culture of forgiving someone, forgive, pray for someone, forgive. You have to remember this, that forgiveness cannot come unless you process it. Because if you try to forgive before you process your pain, honestly, it doesn't make any difference, because you will continue to remember that pain over and over again. So you gotta process, think about the things that have hurt you, think about the things that person has hurt you, accept your feeling, tell yourself it's okay to feel this way, and then process it. If you need to cry, then you forgive. And then the sixth part is to continue to process. Because here's the thing, processing our emotions isn't a one-time thing. Processing our emotions could look like a lifetime journey. Processing our emotions could look like a year. For me personally, it took me 4 years to be able to process the pain that I received from bullying. That pain that I experienced when I was in grade 4, 5, 6, I had to spend 4 years of processing it, of talking about it, of sharing about it to a safe person, for me to be able to get to this point right now. Whenever I think about it, I have forgiven those people, so I can't see the pain. I look at them beyond the pain, because I have processed that pain. Now you might be thinking, Debo, for you, it's easy for you to say that because you have a mom or a dad. Here's the thing, if you don't have any safe person to talk about this, find a counselor. And they are happy to listen to you and to listen to your story. So those are the 6 things I do: explore, accept, analyze the why, process, forgive, and continue to process. Remember, processing our emotions isn't a one-time thing. It's going to be something that we will have to repeat over and over again. So the 6 things aren't just a thing that you do one time, but it's something that you do over and over again. I hope this bless you and it helps you to understand how to process your emotions.